Now, in Arabic, we have a type of Hamza called Hamza to Salb, the negating Hamza. This happens in verbs where we go from the triliteral base form, fa'ala, to the form for, af'ala. And this Hamza usually is used for transitiveness. So it makes an intransitive verb transitive. Usually, this is the main usage of this Hamza. In rare cases, it's actually used to indicate the opposite of it. So it's the removal of the action associated with form 1. Example of this, here we have the verb sarakha, the thulathi mujarrad, and this verb means to call out for help. And on the form af'ala, we get asrakha, which means to help one. In other words, it's the removal of distress. So it's to come to the aid of one who is calling, in other words, asrakha. Now in the Quran, for example, now this is an event that will occur on Yawm al-Qiyamah, when Shaitan will address those people who followed him. Now, one of the things he says is, مَا أَنَا بِمُصْرِخِكُمْ وَمَا أَنْتُمْ بِمُصْرِخِي. So here he's negating completely, I am in no way whatsoever the one to remove distress from you, and nor are those people being addressed going to help Shaitan in any way either. Now the point is that the word musrikh is a ism fa'il on the pattern of asrakha yusrikhu, of bab if'al. Okay? Now another example of this meaning of as-salb, negation, is these two verbs here. Qasata and aqsata. Qasata, the thulathi mujarrad, means to oppress, similar to the word zalama. While aqsata actually means to act justly. It's actually the removal of oppression. So this Hamza has the negative meaning of the thulathi mujarrad. Now, in the Quran, we have the ism fa'il from both of these verbs. So we have, for example, وَأَمَّا الْقَاسِطُونَ فَكَانُوا لِجَهَنَّمَ حَطَبًا. But for the unjust, al-qasitun, they will be for hellfire, firewood. Here's the ism fa'il of the thulathi mujarrad. We also have this part here, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُقْسِطِينَ, which are the ones who act justly. This is from أَقْسَطَ يُقْسِطُ. Now we have another usage for Hamza to Salb, and this is related to the base triliteral verb. So let's take an example of this. We have two verbs which I've spoken about in a previous lesson, bada'a and badawa. So bada'a means to start or initiate, and badawa is a root which means to appear, to be apparent. So there's a relationship between these two roots in that when something starts, it becomes apparent. So I've spoken about how the Hamza and the harf illa, the weak letter, when there's just that difference between the base letters, there's a relationship between the two words. This is quite common in the Arabic language. Now what we can do is we can remove the weak letter or the Hamza and add this Hamza to Salb in the beginning of the verb. And we get the word abada. Now this word is used in the Quran quite extensively, and it's used as an adverb, abadan, which means to remain for a long period of time. It's used as a dharf, zaman, an adverb of time. So you see the difference there between starting, initiating, and being apparent to remaining for a long period of time. So we see the opposite meaning there. Now we have another example, and this is related to the verb that we covered in the story of Nabi Yunus alayhi salam, abaqa. So let's look at this. We have the word baqiya. Baqiya means to stay or to remain. Now, baqiya has a weak letter. So this weak letter can sometimes be dropped. Add the hamza to it, and what do we get? We get abaqa. Abaqa is a word used. It's actually a more specific word, which means to flee from a responsibility or from a position that one is in. And it's more specifically used for when a servant neglects his responsibility by running away. So you see, there's an opposite meaning there. Baqiya means to remain and stay, while abaqa, here it's more specific, but it means to flee and to run away. This hamza could also be considered hamza to salb, the negative hamza.